Blake, pick a man, bring your kit.
I hoped today might be a good day. Hope is a dangerous thing.
My grandfather was at war as well.
Wow.
He was at the Civil War in Spain.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that he used to tell me got stuck in my head. So what kind of things, or what was that one thing that you cannot get rid of your head from the stories he told you?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that you end up, with images, particularly because I think, probably like you, my grandfather told me when I was very small, and you haven't really imagined war ever before, and then to imagine someone you love or you admire in war is really moving. And so for me, it was, he told me one particular story of being sent with a message into no man's land. It was dusk and the mist was falling, and he got lost. And that image of that one little man, who was very small, that one little man alone in that huge landscape, that was really powerful.
I don't remember the last time I wanted to hug someone as much as I wanted to hug these characters while I was watching the film. And I know nothing about them. How much did you know about them before getting into 1917?
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, is it's beautiful how little is said, but the making of these men is where they're from, everything that they carry about home, what's important to them, and the story is so present, but it's kind of made relatable by the fact that these guys have their own lives. So I for myself, thought that's the crux of Schofield, and once I knew that, then I just had to be that in the present happening of the film. So yeah, I took quite a lot of time to suss out who he was and what his situation was back home.
We actually kind of thought so much about who they were, and then one of the very early versions of the script we decided there would be no exposition. Because this film happens in real time, how often do you turn to a friend that you've known for many years and go, oh, remember that time?
Where's your family?
Do you know what I mean? Like, how's your wife whose name is Martha? Do you know what I mean? It never happens, and so really, because of the way that we were telling this story, everything was exposed, all exposition was so exposed, and so we had to be very clever about how we did it. And I think that I feel like audiences are very intelligent. I feel like they want to lean into films, they want to have to do the work, and so we made them do the work.
You have a brother in the 2nd Battalion.
Yes, sir. Is he alive?
And with your help, I'd like to keep it that way. But they're walking into a trap. Your orders are to deliver a message calling off tomorrow morning's attack. If you don't, we will lose 1,600 men. Your brother among them.
Obviously, the camera is kind of like a third character as well. How would you describe it if you had to put it into a character? Because I feel like you're kind of along with it.
You are, although a lot of the time I don't want an audience thinking about the camera, to think about too much about the technical part of the film. I think of it at times almost like an angel. It just sort of is following. Sometimes it's very close and sometimes it's far. Sometimes you want to get a sense of the men tiny in this big landscape, and other times you want to be very, very intimate. It's a constantly evolving dance between the camera, the characters, and the landscape, all three of which are moving constantly.
The way this is shot and how the camera is always following you, I mean, I'm kind of, I guess they were cut, obviously, but for you, what's the challenge? Were they? Yeah. What's the challenge for you as actors? Like, do you have to do like very long shots, or what is it like?
I think the longest take we did was 9 minutes long. And as an actor, it's really rare. No one's really had the opportunity to make a film like this. Normally you just sort of get the part, you step on set, you step in front of a camera that's already been set up, and you do your job, and that's it. Whereas this, we rehearsed for 6 months before we started shooting, and that was to look into the research side of the First World War, and to also build the sets around how long we needed the set for. The set has to be the length of the scene, and the scene has to be the length of the set.
There is only one way this ends. Last man standing.
I mean, these characters are the heart of the film. So what do you think was within them, or the reason why they were chosen? Because it's not only because they were small and they could like sneak in, but I feel like there was something within them.
They needed someone, they needed to trust someone to want to get there, to save these men. and Blake wanted to because he's his brother. But, you know, I think it was just by chance that Blake picked Schofield to come along with him. I think if some other bloke was sitting next to him, I think he'd have picked him. So Schofield got the wrong end of the straw, really.
Oh man, poor guy. And he's changed after this, you know? Like, what do you think is what he learned throughout this experience?
The lengths that you can go for someone else, or for something that's bigger than you. You know, it takes you to do it yourself, but it takes perhaps something bigger outside of you to pull you through that. And I think for what I felt when I first watched the film, and in doing the film, is sort of similar to what Schofield feels, is that it's when you're stretched to your absolute limits, it teaches you what you want to come back to.
The constant expectation of victory has caused more deaths in war probably than any other human, emotion. The cliche of the First World War is that people are waiting, knowing they're going to die. But people don't go into battle knowing they're going to die. They go into battle feeling that they're going to win.
If you fail, it will be a massacre.